Hey guys, so today we are going to cover regular expressions. A regular expression is basically a sequence of characters that forms a search pattern. We've seen a bit of regular expressions in the index of and string methods that we were going through. The search pattern can be used for text search and text replace operations. So again, the search pattern that we are talking about can be used for either a text search or a text replace operation. Now, a little bit of theory before we actually dive into things. What is a regular expression? Well, a regular expression is a sequence of characters that forms a search pattern. When you search for data in a text, you can use this search pattern to describe what you are searching for. A regular expression can be a single character or a complicated pattern. Regular expressions can be used to perform all types of text search or text replace operations. Okay, that was about the theory. Now let's quickly see what the syntax of a regular expression looks like. Well, the syntax is very simple. It is of the form a slash, then a pattern, then a slash, and then a modifier. So that's the syntax for a regular expression. If you don't give the modifier, you can just give anything between two slashes and that will be treated as a regular expression string. Now, what do I mean by that? Let's quickly see an example. We've already seen the search example. So let's create a search field which is equals to, let's say, hello there. Okay, that's a string. Now let's do a variable n which is equals to search. Let's call this as a string so that's easier for us to recollect and we don't mismatch with the search keyword. Search, and now instead of passing in the parameters, I'll pass in a regular expression as a parameter, and then I'll say, let's say there. And let's try to see what n returns. Let's close the output. Let's open the console. Let's run. And the answer is -1 because it did not find anything. Well, the reason was I'm looking for a lowercase there. Let's try to make this an uppercase and see. And the answer is 6. It starts at the 6th position. Easy peasy, right? Now, what if I wanted to do a case sensitive search? In this scenario, I could use everything which is the pattern without even the T or an H uppercase, lowercase, and I can give a modifier. Let's say the modifier I want to give is I. I stands for case insensitive. Let's try to run, and now I get the answer 6 even with the T as a lowercase. Let's say when I make this R as an uppercase, it should still work and give me 6 as an answer because I'm doing a case insensitive, which means convert everything to lowercase, and then compare them. And if the string contains it, returns the position of that string. So just like we have the search, let's do the same thing for the replace. And we have seen in the previous lecture that with replace, you can replace a particular string with the new string. So let's try to do the same thing. Let's say variable x is equals to string dot replace. Let's say I want to replace the word THERE with America. So America, and now let's do a console dot log with x. So what this should give us is this should replace the there with America, and it should give us the answer as hello America. Easy, right? It doesn't matter that if I give there as a lowercase or an uppercase, I can also make this there variable as a, again the same pattern can be used, and I can use it as a regular expression. In this scenario also it will still give me hello America, but the moment I remove the I and just give the backslash, and here it will still be hello there because it did not find anything that can be replaced. The moment I do an I, it will replace. It's hello America. Now if you notice, the regular expressions or the arguments instead of string arguments can be used in methods above. Regular expressions can make your search much more powerful, especially case insensitive, for example. Now let's see what the different modifiers and patterns that we can use in with the regular expression. So the first thing is the modifiers. We already saw what modifier I does. I was basically case insensitive. Similarly, we have something called as a global, which stands for G, which means it checks for global matches. It doesn't mean that in this scenario it will just find the first instance of there and it will get it done. But the moment I do a global, which is /G, it will replace anywhere there is a there keyword. We also have something called as an M, which does multi-line match. Multi-line match is basically if your string spreads across multiple lines, it will not only take the first line and do the match, it will also do on the other lines. So those are the modifiers. Let me just write it down. Now, what are the other regular expression patterns? Well, regular expressions are always expressed with the open and close braces. So anything which is inside the braces, it's a regular expression. So let me show you an example. So let's say if you want everything which is containing only alphabets, which is A to Z or ABC for instance. So you do A, B and C, and that means that you can find any characters between the brackets, whatever you write. So in this scenario, we are doing ABC. Similarly, if you want to give only numbers, which is 0 to 9, you do a 0-9 and it will search for only numbers. The other thing we have is OR condition, which means either find a pattern 1 or find pattern 2. In this scenario, you can use the same OR that we use for our logical operators, and you can say either or, either X or Y, whichever pattern matches or whichever returns a true value. Now let's see another very cool example that we have, or a method that we have in JavaScript. It's called test. What does test method do? So test method is a regular expression method. It searches for a string for a pattern and returns true or false depending on the result. Let's see an example. So let's say I have a variable pattern is equals to, let's say, search for E because it's a very common, and let's take in a string pattern dot test. Let's pass the best things in life are free, and then let's try to put this in a console dot log. Okay, let's run it. The answer is true because E is present. Very simple, right? And it is not necessary that you give store a pattern into a word and then do it. You can directly give the pattern dot test, which means a regular expression dot test, and test the value. Similar to test, we also have another method which is called execute. EXEC. What this method does is, it is very similar to what we have for test. The only difference that it has is, instead of giving the value true or false, it will actually give you the character that you were looking for. So let's say instead of E, I make this as best. In this scenario, the output would be best, which is if it finds the string, it will return the string, the parameter or what you're searching for. So guys, that was regular expression. I think there is a big list on complete reference of what regular expressions can do and what all other things are, but this is primarily what you will use, and I would recommend just play along and see if you have any questions. Let me know in the Q&A section.